So here we're working with an inequality, and we see that it's a single variable inequality, and the only thing that differs when we're working with inequalities in terms of working with equations, trying to solve for an unknown, is we have a couple of things. We need to, when we're graphing, there's some shading involved, but if we're not graphing, all we need to remember is that when we multiply or divide both sides of the equation by a negative number, then we flip the signs or switch the signs. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. We'll just make sure we remember our order of operations, PEMDAS, that we're going to worry about our parentheses first, then exponents, then we do our multiplication and division before we do our addition and subtraction. So inside the parentheses, we can't simplify here. These aren't like terms. We don't have any exponents to worry about. So next comes multiplication, which means we are going to distribute this positive 3 into both the terms inside the parentheses, giving us negative 5x plus 3 times x plus 3 times negative 6 is our distribution, is less than negative 30. Then we can evaluate that multiplication. Negative 5x, 3 times x is 3x. Positive 3 times a negative 6 is a negative 18, is less than negative 30. Now, all we need to do is combine like terms, and then we're simplified. So we have a negative 5x plus 3x, leaving us with a negative 2x minus 18 is less than negative 30. Now that we're simplified on both sides of the inequality, we can use inverse operations. Same process as dealing with an equation. So we'll add 18 to both sides. And when we do that, these cancel, leaving us with a negative 2x. Nothing happens to the sign because we're just adding. And that will leave us with a negative 12 on this side. And then we... finally, we will divide by the coefficient. I was just long pause checking my work there to make sure that negative 30 plus 18 was negative 12. And then we'll divide by a negative 2. So when we divide by a negative 2, we remember that when we multiply or divide by a negative, we flip the sign. So over here, these cancel x, and then we flip the sign. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. So, and then we can check our work to make sure we're accurate by if x is greater than 6, then I can put in anything bigger than 6 for x, and I should get a true statement. So let's try it. So I have negative 5 times x. If we put in 7 then, 7 for x, now let's see if we get a true statement. 7 minus 6 is less than negative 30. So parentheses first, negative 5 times 7 plus 3 times 7 minus 6 is 1, is less than negative 30. Then we have negative 5 times 7 is negative 35, plus 1, or 3 times 1 is 3, so plus 3 is less than negative 30. And finally we have negative 35 plus 3, which is at negative 32, is less than negative 30, which is true.